A great show planned for you guys tonight. I'm Nicole with Them Parts, and my co-host
No,
is
no face, no case. Sorry about my tardiness, ma'am.
no problem, no face. But I'm just ready to get into it. We had a great show on
Yeah.
Saturday. What did you think?
Oh, I thought it was pretty good, pretty juicy. We had some interactions and some ladies that came and joined us, and we appreciated them with their opinions. And I'm ready to keep it going.
Yeah, yeah, and you wasn't scared either. You said I ain't scared of y'all. Came
It's
out with
great, more.
I'm
No, I,
scared.
I enjoyed it. I'm here
Yeah.
for all the smoke.
You here for the smoke. Okay, well, so let's get into it because basically our last few episodes been about relationships, and when it comes down to it, a lot of relationships nowadays are very toxic. Very toxic. Okay.
Right.
Um, Specifically a lot of the shit you described that you telling these men to do is toxic.
Yeah. Well, I disagree with that, but we'll get
Toxic.
into it. We'll
You
get into it.
did agree that it wouldn't help them get any PUSSY. You did say that.
Well, we gotta take a couple steps backwards before we can go forward. You know, that's the philosophy. We
Okay.
gotta sacrifice.
Okay. Well, so let's get into it. What do you think is causing modern relationships to be so toxic right now? What are your thoughts about that?
Well, to be so toxic. I don't know. I have to because I don't want to just go off to a place where you're maybe not trying to where you're not thinking right now. So can you give me a little bit of an example of what type of toxicity you're referring to as it pertains to modern day relationships?
I cannot, but I will reword the question.
Okay.
Do you think modern relationships today are more toxic than relationships of the past?
Yes, for sure.
Okay. In what ways? What are you seeing now that's going on that shouldn't be going on in a relationship?
Well, well, it's pretty clear when you have a relationship that doesn't have a undisputed leader.
Mm.
There's going to be some clashing. So if you got two chiefs and no Indians, there's
Oh,
gonna be an imbalance there.
oh,
You know what I
oh.
mean? So I didn't want to start off too hot getting on the thing, but that's what it is. I mean,
Mm.
that's where the toxicity comes in when there's an internal battle for power.
Oh, okay. Okay, I can see that. That would be a problem because you're butting heads now, right?
Right. That used to not be a thing. Well, I wouldn't say it wasn't a thing, but there was a lot less tension and a lot less toxicity as a result before when they knew when there was a hierarchy, so to speak. I don't wanna-
Hmm. You mean when the man ran the household?
Right. When the man was the undisputed leader of the household, and the woman played her role, as opposed to now where there's um there's that blurred line of we're both, well, whatever it is. You can tell me better than I know. What are they telling? What is the dynamic of a relationship supposed to be ideally in the modern day narrative?
In the modern day narrative,
Yeah.
I mean, in the modern day narrative, if we're talking about that, then it's um, some people say it's 50-50. Some people say it's, I guess, 100-0. I don't know.
100-0 for the woman.
I mean, I've heard all kinds of stuff. There are some women who say they want the man to do everything. And then there's, which is toxic. And then there's some men who want, who would do everything financially, but not, and think that makes them a good man, but everything that they're not taking care of what the woman needs to feel safe, protected in her relationship. as well.
Well, if he's doing that, what else does he need to do?
If he's paying for everything, what else does he need to do?
Well, if he's doing the provision and the protection, then what does he need to do?
No, I'm saying being protected in the relationship. Maybe he's not protected. Protecting is protecting in the relationship is also knowing that that he's going to be there, that you could depend on him,
Right.
and that's not just a financial thing. And some nowadays, everybody seems to be breaking it down to just the money.
Well, that's what it
Yeah,
was about before. It was way more simpler before. All you
when
had
it
to
was
do
just
is
about money.
yeah, when he just made he protected, of course, but that's just intrinsic. Like he didn't have to think about protection because that was already automatically instilled in his DNA. Then he worked 60 hours a week, and then he came home and he didn't have nothing else to worry about. Now it's all about now it's all this extra shit. Well, it's just
Well,
not quite enough. It's all this metaphysical shit that you can't see, taste, feel, or hear that we need also. And I don't know if you're protecting my spirit and all this shit that's confusing. All these feelings and
men got more feelings than ever, more feelings than women now. They're the
that's
ones
not
who
true. That's
they
not true.
they spirits protect. They're the ones who look for flowers on Valentine's Day now. They're the ones who want the pat on the back instead of getting the job done. They don't even get the job done first. They literally
Okay, here we
want the
go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, we go. We getting it. Oh, but no,
show
I would
me
say
around.
this though. Men always had feelings, but now men have been tricked into thinking that their feelings actually fucking matter. You know, so they're showing them a lot more, and then
And,
they're showing them way too much. I say, like you're showing your vagina, bro. Put that shit away.
and what's happening when they do that?
Um, you know what's happening.
No.
Well, he's losing his attractiveness, basically. That's what it comes down to. A woman's not attracted to that, and when she's not attracted to that, she's not. It's not good. It
It
doesn't get
depends
you
on
in.
what he's his feelings, because some men nowadays are their emotions are extremely heightened, and it we're not used to that, and women can push buttons, and we will. If we know we can push your buttons, we will push.
Oh
And
yeah, if you see a sensitive male, then yeah, that he's showing that he has a weakness, and then he's showing you that you have power over him if you can be able to spike and move his emotions. And if you give that woman that type of power, she will abuse it.
have you given a woman that type of power?
Um, Probably, yeah. I'm sure when I was younger, um,
More?
more than one.
I said not anymore.
Not anymore. Well, no, no, not anymore. Not lately, that's for sure. But we all it's not about just being perfect and never. Sometimes you gotta. Sometimes it's you're going to show emotions and you're going to be vulnerable at times. I haven't put myself in a situation. I haven't been courting anybody for a relationship in quite some time. So no, not. I would say not anymore recently, but if I was to find a person that's a good fit for me, I would have to be able to be vulnerable and see if she is going to abuse it or not before we can have the next level of trust in our relationship. But that's not something. That's a different story, kind of.
That's
So
living
I said all that, so I didn't advocate just being that like that all the time, but it's a good or in my opinion, it's good to just what am I trying to say? Shit.
Are you
It's
saying
good.
it's good to be vulnerable or good to not be vulnerable?
It's good to not to not be vulnerable as the base level on the base level, especially with a woman, just a regular random woman.
I mean, yeah, if you're just talking about a random person, but what if you're talking about
Even if you've been dating her for a year, okay. For most women, yes. Unless you want to, yeah.
a year is a long time, so you're not. So basically, you're withholding your emotions with and for this person for a whole year or longer. That's what you advocate?
No, yeah, but forever. But you said that you do what they are they always going to abuse it, and I'm saying like not necessarily. I mean, but yeah, but if the woman really cares about you, she won't abuse it. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm saying too much is what I'm saying. But yeah, she will abuse it, and but you can't be in a healthy relationship with a woman if you constantly have to suppress your emotions because eventually you're going to need her, and if she can't be there for you in those really important or desperate times of need, then you need to find somebody that will because she is capable, and you're not going to lose her in those moments as long as you don't have them too often. But you got to save those moments for very important times because if you're always sad, you're gonna lose her. You're gonna lose her attraction, and then you're gonna lose her eventually.
Okay. That's good. I'm glad you explained that further because I was starting to think from what you said earlier and from what you said in a couple of our other videos that you just withhold your emotions and that you're not willing to really feel for the woman that you're with or even let her understand that you have feelings. And, I just don't think you should be trying to protect yourself so much.
Yeah, it's not about protecting your stuff. It's protecting your image in her eyes. Kind of like a lot of people are. You're saying that men are overly emotional. It's because they're not suppress. They're letting it all flow out as if they were a girl and as if their feelings as if she values their feelings like that, So that's why it's making them look like bitch ass niggas. But really, it's really we all have them, but we have to be able to look ourselves in the mirror and say, "Fuck you, you don't really matter like that." And then it's in order to be attractive to her. That's one of the many sacrifices that you have to take. And then people like modern women, they say these things like what you're saying, and set them up for failure because if you'll say one thing
What
and
did
then
I say?
you'll say that they need to be vulnerable and you don't need to be protecting yourself. But then you'll say, oh, they're overly emotional at the same, and
Well,
those two things are tied to one another.
well, true, but there's also ways to, um, you can. We want to know that you have feelings. There's lots of women that I've talked to that says, "I didn't even know he cared. I didn't even know he had any feelings. I didn't even know he felt." Because you guys act so unbothered, we never know. So we do have to see something, but we
No,
don't
that's a bunch of bullshit that women use to justify being fucking demons. Okay,
know.
they know we cared the whole time. They know we cared the whole time
How? How?
because we tell them.
When?
We tell
The hell if you do? You tell them to get in line or else you're gonna go fuck something else. That's what you tell them. That's what you've been teaching in our last few shows.
I mean, you're all over. Well, which one is it? Okay, from my personal experience, I would tell this bitch, like, I'm a human being, right? And then she would be like, no, no, to reject it. I reject it because I want to justify treating you like a fucking animal. You're not. You don't have feelings. Yada yada yada. Like, no, actually, I actually really am. I'm really a human too. Like, just kind of like your son. Yada yada yada. No, I didn't ever know he felt like that. That's a bunch of bullshit.
It's actually not a bunch of bullshit. And actually, from your story, you didn't really make it any better, because it's still a very unbothered. I'm a human being. Of course, you're a human being. What is she doing to you? You know what I mean? How do you feel? What is going on?
You see this is what it is. Like what we're trying to navigate between. Yeah, that's why it's so. That's why. That's why it's a landmine we're navigating, because if if we say if we have to balance between being a human, being attractive, and not being a bitch, and not being a person that's hiding, that's covering up, and not being open. So you try to navigate that shit.
It's not a balance, no face. It's just being a human. Like everybody has to is expected to be something. Everybody, your men are no more expected than women in
Don't
the
say it. Oh my God, no, that's absolutely no, it's not. We're expected
you
so
expect.
much more,
Well,
and then we get, huh?
tell us.
Well, I don't. I think we so far on the topic we've kind of touched on it. How much we're expected to be this, but not too much of this and that, and not too much of that, and just a little splash of this. But gotta let them know this, and then it's just
I
like, what the
mean,
fuck? And then you're asking me like for the perfect answer. I don't fucking know the perfect answer
I'm not
either.
asking you for the perfect answer, but if you can realize that the things that you said about women, you want this from women and you want that from
It's
women.
very simple, actually. It's very simple and clear what we want from women.
I know.
We want their.
I wasn't shut up.
Yep, that's really so easy. Well, what did you say though? I just heard you said
Smiles
because you
and
might have
shut
missed. No, make a fucking sandwich. All right.
up. Okay, so you add to it now. Go ahead.
Yeah, but that's easy too.
Mm-hmm.
Smile,
Sexy.
shut up, make make a sandwich,
Mm-hmm.
and then shut up again. That's it, man. So it's so fucking easy. It's so easy. But all this shit, we
So,
gotta fucking
so when you're looking for something and
yeah,
you can't find it, you know, she got it and she know where it's at. She don't tell
yeah.
you because you want her to shut the fuck up, but you going crazy looking for your
You
wallet.
see, now that's just being petty. That's just being petty and
It's actually not.
childish.
You want me to shut up? I'm gonna shut up.
But the shut up part, you know
I'm
what that
only
means.
useful
You
for
know what the shut up means. It's been like it just means like don't talk so much.
just don't ask.
Yeah, but I mean, no, just don't nag. I mean, I was lightly joking. You can kind of tell, like, don't gossip with me because I don't want to hear. I'm not your girlfriend. I don't want to hear that shit. Then I'll try, but and then don't get offended when I fucking seem annoyed, and then that's when you shut up. It's not like you don't never need to talk. Just pick up on the cues and don't be offended. But I'm not interested in this shit that you're talking about.
So why is it a problem if she knows that? Maybe she don't know you're not interested in it. Maybe you've been pretending to be interested in it.
Yeah, I know that's the thing too.
So you can't pretend no more, and then now you're annoyed.
Yeah, just slightly, and this is a small nuance. I think that's not even a big deal. With the shut up part, it really only pertains to when there's other people around.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like that. Okay. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. So that's like a shut up and look good or something like that.
yeah. Represent me well, and then
Mhm.
don't try to be the star of the show in public because you're not.
Okay, so
Not
no.
that not even that you're not, but you got where you could be the star of the show. Very rarely is that the case, but if you are, we we're not doing that.
You mean getting attention? Other
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Essentially, because if she was the star of the show, that's not a problem. But for her getting attention and seeking attention, that is a problem in the man's ego and the man's psyche.
hmm hmm Yeah, I can see that. So let me ask you this: in your relationships in the past, as the man and the leader, and I
Yeah.
know you said you was in a 14-year relationship, so you had to start that one young,
Yeah.
right? So do you now or in the past, are you going to let your woman know what you want from her up front?
Yeah. Of course. I think that's really important too. Like just setting that foundation is really important.
Yeah.
When a woman is when you're first starting a relationship, she's going to be at her most cooperative, unfortunately, and her most open. So that's the time to say the shit that's not normal or
Mhm.
status quo to her. Get that out right then, and then just be consistent in that. And then just be a you got to just be a good you got to be a good person and be a good man too in order for her to consider to be okay with that going forward, going through the relationship. You can't
I'm
just be
glad.
no bozo.
I'm glad you said that. What is a good man in your word?
Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
What is a good man in your words?
A good man when it pertains to the relationship, just being having integrity and making her. Well, it's just about making her like being around you. Really, it's really simple. And then making her feel safe when she's with you, and making her because I don't know cause we're talking about when you're in the courtship stage.
Okay.
So, but then going forward, being a good man is being all the things that we already know what a good man is. It's a man that provides and protects and leads and guides.
Okay. So that's like the basic of a good man. And I'm not asking these questions to like drill into you. I'm asking these questions because we use words and it doesn't break down what we really talking about, you know? So like if somebody, let's say somebody young in a relationship just starting out in a relationship, the female is going to to want to know if she got a good man or not. Because more than likely she ain't been taught right. And there's um uh we lost No Face, but he'll be back. There are men who need to know if they got a good woman or not. You know, they need to know what to look for in terms of that. We lost you for a minute, but my question was basically just like educationally. You have a 14-year-old daughter. What would you be telling her to look for in a man?
Well, you want to, well, because what she's navigating, she needs to find a man that's an individual that's not just a well that's in any time. Well, actually, no. In these times everybody's being led astray.
Mm,
So you'll find a man that's an individual and that's not just running with the herd. What's most important is that how he treats her, not how these kids because she's in high school, so not how he's viewed by his peers, but
yeah,
how he treats her.
that's
And that's the most important thing. There's really not much to it. We're talking about high school kids,
yeah.
but going forward, it changes a bit. But yeah, just having a person that treats you well and having a stand for how he treats you.
So
And he
someone
has to be attracted to you too. You can't sacrifice that, obviously.
say
But
it
like she
again.
asked me yesterday, he has to be attractive to her, but he doesn't have to be attractive to anybody else.
Hmm.
He asked me last night if I thought that he was ugly, and I said, "Oh, did you know that? Did I even share that part that she has a boyfriend?"
No, I was just about to say I did not know she had a boyfriend.
Yeah, she said, "Do you think he's ugly?" And I was like, why would you ask me that?" And then she was talking about how her friends were saying like throwing subs, and I'm like, well, if those people are saying these things about him, then they're not your friends, first of all. And it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks as long as you're attracted to him. And only thing that matters is if how he's treating you. And
Hmm.
it's not about how he looks to other people. So fuck those kids, and that was it. That was the message for that.
That was great advice because most relationships are gonna get messed up from friends and family. It's other
Right.
people in your ear or in your mate's ear saying shit to them that's gonna have you looking at your person differently. It's gonna have you feeling differently. It's gonna have you looking out for stuff that you wasn't even looking out for before. You know what I mean? So you gave her some great advice because how she feels about her boyfriend and what she thinks to him is what's most important, not her friend.
Right. And then how he treats her, not superficial things like what he looks like.
So I'm glad you brought that up because that kind of takes me to our conversation on Saturday, or just all of our conversations about relationships. You know, men are always saying that women are, we move off of feelings and you guys move off of logic, which is not true. You guys are the most
Well,
illogical people ever. But you guys move off of feelings too. And basically, you were pointing out that we should just subside our feelings and because it's not about how we feel, it's about um, what makes sense for the relationship. So if you're
yeah,
saying that in your daughter's relationship, it's important how he makes her feel.
yeah,
Well, that's the same for every other relationship. It's important how he makes her feel. It's important how she makes him feel. Feelings are important. Is that not true?
yeah. Feelings are important. They're not everything, though. They don't trump everything.
Um, well, they don't trump everything, but they're like like number two or three. They're up there. You know, when you're talking about being with somebody in a relationship, you're talking about how you feel when you're with them.
Yeah, I mean
So,
they are important. And yeah, but
well, I guess if we take it to, I'm gonna just take it to what's in my mind right now is the
right,
conversation you and Unique had about cheating. Okay, and how a woman, if her man cheats, that's no reason for her to break up the family, right? She just
right,
needs to suck it up and go on with her life. But men, on the other hand, if his woman cheats, throw the whole bitch away.
right.
Well, I'm not gonna call it a double standard, even though it is, but
It is a double standard.
it is a double standard. But um, you're saying that feelings don't matter when either one, you're still talking about feelings. Because the woman's not breaking up her family because he cheated. She's more than likely not even breaking up her family off of the first cheat. But it's just her feelings that she can't deal. It's too hard for her to stay with
No,
the
she can't. She can deal with it. She definitely can deal with it.
oh,
One of the things like you said earlier, it's the echo chamber. I call it the echo chamber. So when
mhm,
you're talking about the outside noise, they're the ones that put pressure on her. Like
that's
she
true.
like she's playing herself and she deserves better and she's setting the wrong example and all that bullshit
That's
that
true.
gets misinterpreted as good advice or
Mm,
her feelings or knowing her worth and all that bullshit.
mhm. Mhm. That is
That's
true.
what that's what it really is. If she was
That happens.
if
That's
no, that's
usually
what
what the breakup is. But she goes
it,
back.
it is. It's about people talking about getting in the girl's head
Mhm.
and manipulating her thoughts and her ideals.
Mhm. Mhm. I agree with
Or
that.
it's the and it's the when she vents to people, basically when she's not on her shit and he's not happy with her, she goes and tells everybody how she goes and doubles down and like hedges her bets and starts talking crazy about him. And
Mhm.
then when she gets back with him, she's looking crazy.
That that is true. I agree with that. But the fact that she goes back to him after all of that shit means she cancels all the noise and she
No, that
still
means that she was lying. That means she was lying the whole time. Well, no, well, when it pertains to when she was talking crazy about him. But
um
yeah, the echo chamber when they're telling her that she needs to know her worth and all that stuff. That's part of the problem.
that is true. And the other side happens as well. But that is true. It's always somebody on the outside getting in your fucking ear, telling you what you should do. But eventually, she ignores all that shit and she goes back to him and she's trying to work through it. But sometimes she realizes that she can't because because now it's feelings. So that's more than likely when the shit just is over.
Yeah, but yeah, it's really I mean, really, people need to stop. Like with my girl, I don't want nobody talking to her at all
It always
because
happens. I mean, and I'm gonna ask you this: you got a mom and you got sisters,
right,
and a lot of times the mom and the sisters is your biggest enemy in a relationship. Have
right.
they ever interfere with your relationship?
Well, they would just say things like, "You could do so much. I just think you could do so much better." Or that shit like that. So not really, but they would just be like
Not
judging me,
really.
like, "Oh,
That's actually really that's really a yes.
no, but that's not good advice." It's like I could do better. Like, okay, I know. Oh, well, I could. Can I do better though? Is there better? What can I do better? Like what you? Because they don't see they don't see
What you
it
see,
until they're in the man's shoes. They're really able to like um be in the man's shoes and see it from the man perspective when they're dealing with a man that they actually care about, which is very rare,
but
and they
were
don't
you
have that.
saying that your mom and your sister's advice was the right advice or a problem? I missed that.
But it really doesn't matter because I don't listen to women. I don't take advice from women.
Well,
But
you
it was
probably do. They're not just saying it because you don't listen. You
um
probably do. You probably take it into consideration and
I
consider.
consider that. Well, maybe yeah, because it's more. When I say I don't listen to women, it's not just because it's for a reason, because they don't give good advice.
Well, yeah.
It's because they don't understand. They don't understand what I'm navigating, and they're not really qualified to speak on what I'm navigating.
But they're actually saying what you're probably already thinking. So you're listening.
No,
Hook, line, and sinker. You the
no, they're
conversation
saying,
is coming
but they're
up.
saying exactly what they will say to a woman in the same situation. They're telling me the same thing that her parents and her family is telling her.
No, I
You
get
know, so it's like not about. It's not about. Well, I don't know. It's true. Somebody's right, and in this sense, it is right. But like the man always can do. I mean, the man can always do better. I guess both can always do better.
right. But
I
the
don't know.
point is
It's
the advice. You know what I mean? Whether they can do better or not, you have to ignore the advice because you're the only one in the relationship, right? So you know if you can do better or not, and you know if you want this chick or not, and you know if you want to leave this chick or not. So my whole
yeah,
point, the outside advice is never helpful to the relationship. How many people are giving you advice that's going to encourage you guys to stay together and work it out? How many people
right.
give that advice?
Nobody.
Nobody.
Absolutely nobody.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely nobody, and that's so fucking crazy. Nobody gives
It is
advice
crazy.
that's gonna help you work shit out when there's an argument. They ain't go play devil's advocate and help you see it the other person's way.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, though, I do. I always do,
I
and
do
I'm
too.
very conscious about that
That's good.
because,
I know you do. You gave me an example the other day with your sister.
right, I'm always trying to figure out, especially when I'm talking to women, because you're gonna tell them some shit that they never heard before,
Mm-hmm.
and then if they want to, if and then you would, I don't know, I wouldn't say that they like it, but I'm not gonna give you no status quo. Or you deserve better, queen. Fucking ego boosting type type speech.
I
But
agree.
yeah, but that's so true, and like that's so true what you said, and it's like it's really profound because everybody always consistently says never. Nobody, I should say, everybody always consistently never gives tangible advice that can actually facilitate a more healthier relationship with that person.
Nobody. I realized that. I realized that in my own relationship. And
Yeah.
when it was over and years later, and I look back and I thought about what my mom said, what my aunt said, what the neighbor said, every single person, nobody gave any
Everybody said, "Throw
advice.
that bum ass nigga away. He ain't worth nothing."
It ain't
Yeah.
gonna work out. He gonna leave everything. That not one person gave helpful advice at all. Not one.
Right.
And these are
And
people that
why
love
is
me.
that? You know.
Most of these people love me. Right?
Right. Right.
Well, it's a big protection thing. Everybody just wants to protect you from pain while they're causing the pain by their so-called protection. It's not protection. They want
Yeah,
you to
I think that
they
with a question like that, I think it's a very sophisticated layered question.
all the
Something
way
that one
educated.
something one
It's
would have to like reflect on and try to. So it's
they
not.
don't
I
know
don't
no
expect you to
better.
be able to just.
Let's start there. They don't
Yeah.
know no better. Um,
Yeah.
they just
They don't value the relationship. They don't value the man. They
they
don't
don't
value.
value your man. They
No, don't
have
value any man.
that, but not that. That could be true, but not always. There might be a married woman who gives the relationship advice thinking that she got the only good man that there is. So she see you with your man, and now she's whispering about all the shit you got to look out for in your relationship.
Yeah,
So
a lot of times when a woman really is in a healthy marriage, she understands the sacrifices that she has to take. She understands the image that she portrays versus what's real, and when there's a whole community of married people don't talk to people that are don't have people that unwedded in their social circle.
well,
So
that's
mm,
probably why nobody else learning. You know, the
right,
married
that's
people who holding it together got to teach somebody. But even sometimes, like I said, those people even it all depends because so many people get it wrong anyway. You know,
yeah,
um, that we don't know what really the right thing to say. But like with me, in any relationship, if it's my daughter and her boyfriend or my niece and her husband, whoever, I'm not gonna promote or give no advice that's about splitting up, breaking up, leaving, playing.
yeah.
Um,
Because what that does too is
doing that. I just keep it all to real feelings, and
yeah,
just straight real emotions. And I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'm gonna let you know, see it from the other person's point of view, because especially when we're in a relationship and when we're angry, we only thinking about how we feel. We only thinking about what we're mad at and what is bothering us, and we never look at it from the other person's side. And you have to do that in a relationship.
yeah, for sure. And then a lot of times it'll alienate you from your from the person that from your family member in this case because
Well,
you
sometimes
told
you
them.
gotta be alienated. I mean, if you look at it, every relationship goes through all of these ups and downs. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
just like I said, nobody gets it right. So if it alienates you, you just might have to take that alienation because it you gotta make your own decisions and live your own life and make your own choices. And when you get into a relationship with somebody, you that's gonna be one of the sacrifices. It might be, your family. You can't fuck with them like that if they don't accept what you are standing with right now. If you decide to make that decision.
yeah. What I meant, alienate was probably a stronger word,
Oh,
but when you guys are when there's a bash fest about the man, and then she goes back to him, she's a little bit bashful about it, and then she doesn't want to talk to the same person, just like say the mom, for instance, about that, and the mom might say, "I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it anymore because you're just gonna go right, instead of just seeing it for what it's worth, being a little bit more realistic about it and facilitating a healthy relationship where she could still come and vent to you. And you don't hold her to no standards and you just give your advice. But if you're giving good advice, you wouldn't put her in a position where she feels like she has to break up with him or she looks stupid. But that's what happens a lot of times.
yeah. And I think you made this point a few minutes ago, though. You had said that back in the day they kept the relationship stuff in the house. The issues and stuff was in the house. So once everybody, if everybody out there ain't knowing about it, it is easier to keep things together because you're right. It's the embarrassment, it's the talk that gets things, get you feeling some sort of way where you got to make a move or you don't want to be looking stupid because you know this man has been cheating on you uh, or whatever is going on. So you're right.
Yeah. Well, when I say in the house too, this might sound crazy to some people, but it was with the marriage was a six-person marriage essentially. It was both. It was the two married people, and then they're both of their parents
And what?
and
Both.
both of their parents. Yes. So if there was issues, it would be facilitated within the elders, and there was a lot more logic, and it was coming from people that actually navigated um, facilitating marriage in a healthy way and in a prosperous, long lasting way.
um. Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, I know. Shit sounds crazy, doesn't it? But that was not that many generations ago when that's how it really was with our ancestors.
And that's how it should still be, and that's how it could still be. But our ancestors lie too much. Our moms and grandmoms and aunts lie and say that they didn't put up with this and didn't put up with that, and yes, they did. They actually did.
Yeah, well, I'm more so talking about like pre-colonialism.
What do you mean?
Before our ancestors were slaves, when they were in their natural form,
Mm-hmm.
that's
Kings
how
and
they were navigating before monogamy was a thing, before
oh, here you
the
go.
Eurocentric standards were were bestowed
I'm not
upon us
going
by
back that
force.
far. I'm not going back that far. I ain't even talking about that because I'm not going
Well,
back.
it's important that you do. It's important that you, huh?
We're not going back that far.
But it's important. But we should though. Why?
As a
Why wouldn't we? Yeah, we should know who we are and what we're supposed to, what we were based in.
we should definitely know who we are. I agree.
Yeah, because these are standards that were bestowed upon us by our oppressors because they knew it wouldn't work. It's important that at least for your life, it's important that you understand these things. You're one of the rare. You're one of the rare type of women that actually could even process such ideas. But then you have to
Uh,
open your mind first, though. No,
yeah.
well, I'm not. I'm being honest. But go ahead.
No, I said I'd have to open my mind really wide for that.
Yeah, I know you're very close-minded. Well, just to be honest and to be
I'm close-minded to that idea, to the I guess it's the polygamy idea. Definitely close-minded. I know you think that that women can take it easier because the man is entering and not being entered, whatever the reason.
no, yeah, it was.
And that's
It's actually
because women,
it's a very natural thing.
it's
If you tell a woman that she should be upset about something, and then that she looks stupid if she accepts something, then she's going to be upset about it. It has nothing to do with like
well,
anything
what
else besides
about
societal standards.
well, I hear you, but I think you're dead wrong. You think that she is only hurt because society is telling her that she's hurt and because she looks stupid. She's gonna be hurt whether no one else in the world knows about it or not. You think men are the only one who have feelings? Like you said, we don't really love you guys, but men really love us. It doesn't even That's so far from true. You act like women don't even have feelings and we're supposed to take everything. I'll never be with that one. I'll never be
I
cool,
didn't say that.
you know.
But I know that if you tell a child that all the cookies belong to her and her siblings can't have any, then
Mhm.
she's going to be upset and feel like somebody's taking something from her when they have one, even though it's absolutely ridiculous for her to believe such a thing. As
Mhm.
opposed to if you facilitated it, if you told her that everybody's to share, then she wouldn't be tripping when her siblings got a cookie. So it's just more about your programming and what you feel entitled to. And then when you get less than what you feel entitled to, then you're upset about it and you feel like you've been doing wrong, you've been done wrong. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
I totally disagree that it's just a societal pressure that makes us feel like we're hurt if our man sleeps with someone else. That's
Well,
not
it's more.
societal pressure.
It's not the societal pressure is not the proper term. It's just more of what she feels like she's entitled to,
Well, I know,
what
I hear
what
you.
she feels like is fair. A woman thinks it's fair for her to have the best man that she can get and then have him all to herself. Like nature is not designed for that. You
Yeah, I
know,
heard you say that before.
this is gonna going down like a boring topic, but the way that you evolve as a species is that you take the strongest genes and you pass the strongest genes down.
Uh-huh.
And that's why women are the way they are when we talk about hypergamy. Because they're looking for the guy that has the strongest genetics, the most powerful, so that it pushes the species forward. So if everybody was to share, if it was everything was fair, then everybody would be passing their genes down, their bloodlines down, and we would never evolve. We would never get stronger. And it's like that's the reason why that happens in nature. And the lions have to get stronger in order to keep up with the buffalo, so to speak. Because they're doing these same things. So now we're getting watered down. We're not even really getting well. There's a lot. That's a layered thing, but anyways, polygamy is a very natural, very healthy thing. And if people can understand that, then they could be a little bit. It'll be a more digestible, rather than my feelings matter more than the prosperity of my species. That's absolutely insane.
You guys aren't
Fuck
thinking
a
about
bitch's
the
feelings when
prosperity of your species when you're sleeping around. There's that don't even make
this is called a sub. This is subconscious though, so we're not thinking about it, but this is just nature.
mm, well, okay.
And your
Yeah,
subconscious mind is way stronger than your conscious mind. So we don't have to think about these things
that's
because
but
we
that's
just
not
do these
that's
things.
probably not even the reason why you're doing it. That's not you're not moving the species forward. If polygamy was a thing, and I guess it is a thing in some areas.
In
Um,
every aspect, every living organism is hypergamous outside of very anomalous ones. But but maybe like 80 to 100 of them.
okay,
But
I'm
there's
not gonna
billions of
agree or
species.
disagree because I don't know, and I don't care. But in human
But you should care. And not knowing is very convenient for you. And saying I don't care is very dismissive and irresponsible.
okay, well, okay, I care that the bees sleep with all other bees and flies sleep with all other flies and elephants and horses and lions share each other's mates. That's fine to know. But we are talking about people, humans in real life today who are in relationships, they can barely get along, they barely even want to mate anymore. They barely even want to deal with each other anymore. And polygamy is not going to be the solution to that, to these toxic relationships. Maybe not pushing polygamy and actually doing the things that move your people forward, as in starting a family, staying with it, raising it, and that family has more kids, and then they have more kids, and then they have more kids, that way.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I don't disagree with it either. And I wasn't even pushing polygamy. I was just saying that why it's not a bad thing and why it's actually a healthy thing and why it is a thing to begin with. Why it's a natural based thing.
If it were, then you wouldn't be monogamous by nature,
Well, it's because I don't like girls.
obviously.
No, it's me. I don't know why I've been that way. I've always, if I don't want to hurt people, and I always, even when I was younger, I always equated it as to the same thing. So it was like you don't do what you do. What don't do. treat people the way you want to be treated. So I know how I would feel if that happened to me. So I held myself to a similar standard. And just the fact that the women aren't really like that, their TNA and really worth my DNA for in the most part is made it a lot easier. You know.
I like that. I like that. And I like what you said before. You wouldn't want it done to you, so you don't want to do nobody like that. And that should be the main reason why a man wouldn't cheat on his wife, his girlfriend, or whatever. It should be the main reason because he don't want to hurt her, because he don't want to feel the same way she feels.
Right. And then with the tit for tat mindset that the women have too, is that would destroy your whole relationship. And if you have a family, then it would destroy your family as well.
That is true.
And like I said, she'll get over it, and she'll be like, she'll get over it, but you'll never get over it.
There are men who've gotten over it.
Those are compromised men. I promise you.
Because they,
Those are not the men that you would want to pass your bloodline down to through.
oh, really?
Yes. No offense to any men that does that. Good for you. But you know, it's just what it is, man. It's completely unnatural for a man to tolerate that and take that spiritual sacrifice because he still has to live with himself every day and go to sleep every day knowing that he's a compromised, that he's been exposed. You know, she knows who you really are. You can't walk around like you really that nigga when she knows that you really ain't.
Yeah, that I guess that's a good way to put it. I don't know any men like that in real life. Keep it real. There's a show on YouTube called Dear Future Wifey, and I've seen like 3 or 4 men who've come on there, and they said that their wife cheated on them, and they stayed in the relationship. So,
Yep.
so that's where I
Good
got
for
that
him.
from. I don't know about that for real. And I agree. It's gonna hurt the relationship, whoever's cheating, but generally men do not go for any sort of cheating.
Right. And then when women take that, when women, it's a really attractive to the man. It makes him feel more confident in her and makes her it really does a good thing for his image of her when she's able to get over that type of thing. And the woman
Oh,
that
really?
yeah, the woman that's okay with it, if a woman played it, if a woman played it right and was like she don't care. I mean, it's not that she won't. If she's being honest, she can't say she don't care.
Right.
She's gonna do her best to. She's gonna do her best to like try to cock block him, but she's never gonna leave him for that. He's gonna automatically be more attracted to her, and he's gonna cheat less. And there's something mischievous and something like it's like some type of incentive, like the hand in the cookie jar type thing. But when you take that part away from the man, he's less likely to to do it. You know.
That's a good point. That reminds me of this interview I saw with Charleston White on Tasha K like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And he wasn't doing the regular Charleston White hypey talking crazy shit. He was actually very humble in this one, and it seemed more of like an apology to his wife because he been out here showing out and having his way because he's so, YouTube famous and whatnot. But he was saying that he stopped cheating on her because she knew what he was doing, I guess, and she wasn't sweating him about it or whatever. And then he saw, how he was hurting her, and so
Right.
he stopped.
Right. And that's all the woman really has to do is just express that part. Don't act like you're bulletproof. And then you definitely don't want to do it within her social circles because that's a violation.
That's a big violation. That's right. Yeah, stay away from that circle. Go outside of that,
Mhm.
if anything.
Yeah, there's something that I want you to post, and then we can kind of I mean, not post, but
Share.
yeah, you can share that. I'll leave though while I look this up.
it up.
So I think, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear
Oh, you
you.
can. I think we should normalize women.
You cut out.
Yeah, I was still navigating.
Okay.
I
We
can't.
should
I can't
normalize
find it. Normalize women and celebrate women who have that type of mindset. Whereas that she's not gonna let, but you got to find a good man first. You've got to find a good man that you appreciate and that you are standing by, and then celebrate her not letting anybody fuck that up.
Right. There you go. I like that. All right, I'm gonna share this clip. How do you pronounce her name?
I think it's Ali, it's Shahazar Ali or Ali Shahazar, something like that. She's been around since the '80s,
She's been
and she's
around.
been being her message is being suppressed like a month. I don't even remember which one this is, but go ahead and run it.
All right, let's play it.
From our men costs money. Everything they want from us just costs us to have a better attitude or a smile. That don't cost us nothing, but we withhold it because it don't go like our fairy tale version of how the relationship's supposed to go. We're sick people. It ain't just him that's got problems. We got problems too. And we the mother. Like I say, we have them before anybody. So if we want a better man, we have to raise a better man. We're working for the future. Because working for the present, we ain't making no progress.
Oh my god. Yeah. Why'd you want to share
Yeah,
that
she's spitting.
clip?
Well, because well, she's saying things that are not crazy foreign, but just coming from a elder woman, it might hit a little different.
Mm. She said, if you want a better man, raise a better man.
Yeah,
What we
yeah.
raising?
Um, man, women aren't. Because I want to. It's not women's fault too. I always want to make sure that's clear. But women aren't equipped to raise men, and they raise a feminine man,
Mm-hmm.
and they tell him all the wrong shit. They tell a mom will tell her husband or will tell her son what she to be a man that she would never be attracted to. You're basically raising him to be a simp. She'll say you got to be a gentleman. Women like flowers. Women like you to open the door for her. Women like tell your son all the wrong shit to do.
She can't tell him that women like flowers. Open the door.
No,
No.
no.
What should she tell him? What would you tell him?
She should tell him. She should tell him all those things. But then he should also have a dad to tell him the other side, the real side, the side that she's not saying.
Which
Which is all the shit that I be saying, you know.
is the diabolical shit.
No, it's not diabolical. It's really just it's things that she's not seeing that's really making her attractive. You have to be able to. She has to be attracted to you first in order to be able to appreciate you doing those gentleman type things. And what attracts her is not any of those gentleman type things. She likes to. She wants the dom. She wants the alpha that treats her well.
Mhm.
You know,
Great advice.
that's every woman's fantasy. She wants the bad boy that's good to her.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be the bad boy to attract her, and then you be the gentleman to her, and then especially in a social public setting, that's where she really appreciates that gentleman shit. So now he's just saying hi. He's just going up to girls, being a gentleman, and he'll never get a girl like that.
Good advice. So, how would he get a girl? What is the bad boy way of getting a girl?
I mean, I don't like. I shouldn't say bad boy, but you got to be a man. You got to be standing on your you got to kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say. So I say how I do it. I took the nonchalant approach, but I'm also it's hard for me to give advice about that because I've always been treated a bit different, you know.
Oh, you got it like that, huh?
I mean, when I was younger, I don't like to say that either because I talk shit to you, but yeah, I mean, you just really got to be you got to be you got to come at her. Okay, I can say it in a better way. You have to come at her like you're like she needs you and you're better than her, you know. Even if you don't have to believe that, but you have to make her feel like that, you know. Like she needs you. So you won't come up to her like somebody was saying, like them older cats be saying, go up there and give her a compliment. That's not what you really do. You want to show her respect too, but you want to make her first notice you and then want you to say something to her. Then you don't say something to her, create that doubt, and then when you do say something to her, she's ready and she's appreciative. And then when you do say something to her,
A lot of
you
work.
give her something that you say something to her like you're like really nonchalant.
Uh-huh.
You know, you don't make yourself look like, oh, I want to talk to you. Can I talk to you, man? You know, that's where people get it real messed up.
Mm, that's what's
'Cause
working.
yeah, that works every time, but it takes time too. You have to be in a setting that it takes time for that approach.
Yeah, it
So
sounds like it. It sounds like
yeah,
you
yeah,
guys have everything laid out just right for that approach. 'Cause you just
kind of, yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Otherwise, it's just like if you see a girl for the first time, you might not ever see her again. If you have to rush in, you know, then she's gonna automatically in her head she's gonna be judged by well he came up to me, he wants something from me, I'm the one that has the goods. So she's automatically in that place of power, and you never want that.
You guys are afraid of that place of power, huh?
You keep saying afraid, you keep using words like that. I don't
Well, maybe
appreciate it.
not afraid. Maybe not afraid. You don't like that if she feels like you want her, that messes up everything.
Right. Yeah, that's just the place that you don't want to be in.
Ever? Are you never
Never.
gonna get there?
Never. Well, there's never a benefit to her feeling like she's in a place of power in any scenario ever. But sometimes inevitably that will happen. But it's ideally that would never happen. And you always
So
want
not for her to feel like she's in a place of power, but for her to feel like you want her. Does that ever happen?
yeah, you do want to make her feel you want to create doubt though in her head. See, now we're getting into like some deeper shit that really is not good for girls. Girls shouldn't know this shit. This is for the fellas. But you want to create doubt. You want to create doubt.
You want her guessing and wondering how you really feel if you really feel her like
No, I mean, yes, kind of, but you really want her to, yeah, you want her to be like, I'm not sure if I'm even good enough for this guy. Does he like me? Am I even qualified? And then you build her up, break her down. You got to build her up. You got to kind of like mess with her a little bit. This is just an according part, and then a little bit of that too throughout though too.
that. Oh.
Yeah, and then what the woman does, it's kind of like the opposite too. Women always want to. Well, women do that too, but
Or
they try to downplay if they like a guy or not.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But see, women do. Here's a fucking bar right here. Women do what they think. Women treat women treat men the way they want to be treated, and men treat women the way they want to be treated. So women have this nonchalant like type of energy where they act like they don't really care, and if either way, either or, you know.
Hmm.
But that's what's attractive to them. And then men, they be wanting to be like, "Oh, I love you. You're fucking so beautiful. I love your shoes, and my God." And that's what they want from a woman. That's attractive to them. But it's the opposite, you know.
That's good. I never, ever, ever thought of it that way.
That's what it is
That's good to
because
know.
Because men, we want our women to be like very straightforward, especially if they like us,
Yeah.
to be like, so don't hold that shit back, you know.
Right.
And I appreciate it. Like I was I appreciate it. You know, when a girl shows her interest and doesn't like let her, she's just like unapologetic about it and not trying to create a. I really appreciate it. It's really attractive. So I didn't see this girl for a long time. I just kind of been ducking her a little bit,
Hmm.
and I hit her up one day, and I was just like messing around doing errands and stuff, and I was like, matter of fact, I was like, I'm gonna pull up on you right now, but I was just joking, you know,
Yeah.
because if she said some shit like that to me, I'd be like, bullshit, you pulling up on me, even if I wanted her to.
Yeah.
But when I said it, she was like, her reaction, she's like, oh, really? Like I could tell that she like, and I was like, oh man, she kind of just melted me. I was like, no, not really. I was just joking, um, but no, I am now because I can't, you know, because I don't want to disappoint you, you know, and you just flattered me, you know.
Yeah. You got
So I
such
pulled up.
a heart, no face.
Huh?
I said you got such a soft heart.
Well, yeah, well, everybody does too,
That's right.
but people need to know how to get to it and not
Mm.
and women like. If you really like a man, just show him that. It's really easy. It's not that sophisticated. And if he likes you, he's not going to be mean to you. We're not going to be mean to our fans, bro. We love our fans. You
Your
know,
what? Your
our
what?
fans.
Oh, your fan.
Yeah, if you coming like that, like, and then that's how she kind of got me to begin with because I kind of rejected her at first. I rejected her, and then how graceful she was through that, it just made her super attractive. You know,
Yeah, you
because
guys like to know how much a person cares. You put them through enough to figure out they must really care.
yeah, we don't have to put them through nothing, but just
Mm.
to know that, just to know that the last thing you really want is when you take a pass because most women men never get an opportunity to reject a woman,
Uh-huh.
but when they do, when that happens, usually that they never liked you anyway. They wasn't even saying that, and you was a dusty, ugly nigga anyways, and all this other stuff. So
Is that how it turns out usually?
yeah,
Mm. Like I wasn't asking for your number. I was asking for something else. Hmm. No face, did we lose you?
I don't think so.
Okay, you're here.
I think yeah my phone is dying right now.
You
But
know,
yeah,
I
that's a
hope this was really live because I didn't see any comments or anything. It would be terrible if we've been talking for over an hour and it wasn't recording or anything. You know?
no, it's recording.
You see it? You watching it?
No,
How
but
you
I
know?
see it says it's recording.
I don't see that, but
It says it's been recording for a minute, an hour and 8 minutes.
okay. All
Nine.
right.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
So
do you have any additional thoughts?
um no, was we are why are modern relationships so toxic? No, I don't think so. I think that we need to get back to the I need to get back to the trolling though. Instead of just being I don't want to be a teacher just yet. I need to start ruffling these feathers.
We need the feathers ruffled. I like it. The troll. We learn from trolls too. So yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. But our next show, we're gonna talk about Diddy. This is
Yeah.
right. You said there's been some new developments.
I think so, maybe. I'm not sure, but
Okay. Okay. Well,
either way, it's a hot topic, and Nico has a very interesting perspective.
yeah. I
Yeah.
want to get into that. I want to get into that. So I'm looking forward to that. So we're gonna wrap up tonight's show. You guys check us out Thursday at 6:30, and the topic will be Diddy. Please join in if you would like to join the conversation. So we are signing out. I'm Nicole.
No face.
No face, no case, and we are out.
Peace out.